I have many actually, but the one that I would love to go back to is my childhood. And my childhood because I had such an amazing time with my mom and dad. They come from different cultures, but I had to embrace both of them. My Filipino side, my French side, and at the same time, I grew up sa Macau. So meron ako ng Chinese also. So I learned Chinese, and at the same time, after Chinese, I also went to a Portuguese school. So it was a lot to embrace, but I really learned so much. And what I learned is that we all have different traditions, cultures. Thank you. Sorry. There are many lessons I've learned during this pandemic. I feel like I become a woman during this pandemic. I became 26 years old. I faced a lot of challenges. I went from having no team to being my own style team to being my own financial supporter to being my number one rooter. And that is one of the biggest lessons that I can say is that I'm so proud to be in Miss Universe Philippines. Even with the pandemic, I feel that I'm accomplishing one of my biggest dreams. And it's a very big challenge, but I can say that I'm confident in who I am and who I'm becoming, and I'm so happy. Thank you, Direk. Sorry.
If you win the title, how do you plan to further help your community?
Well, if I do get the chance to be Miss Universe Philippines, the thing that I would say the most is how about mental health? It's something really dear to me because I've experienced depression. I've been through a lot of abuse in my life. And I don't want anyone to have a stigma behind it. I want people to understand and be more open-minded to open communication in your family, especially here sa Pinas. I feel like a lot of us have this crab mentality. A lot of us have a lot of things that we don't want to share to the world. And that's something that I know it's my advantage because I firsthand was there and know. Thank you.
What color do you think symbolizes the phenomenal woman?
I would say morena skin, and that's something that I really embrace. A lot of the people here in the Philippines, unfortunately, we have been brainwashed for maybe just embracing white people's skin, but that's not actually our colors because we are different types of Filipino. All of us have different colors, and we should embrace all of them. But for me, I'm a morena, so I will embrace morena. That's what I will choose. Thank you.
We've been hearing a lot of work from home is now part of the new norm.
Yes.
So what do you think is a
One learning experience that you had as a child that made so much impact on you?
I have been highly supported by my parents, and what they taught me is to encourage others, to support others, to work with others. That's why it benefited me as a team player playing sports, and it also benefited me joining beauty pageants because you represent an organization. Working with them, collaborating with them, and being a spokesperson, you have to know how to encourage other people. That is one of the most valuable lessons that my parents has imparted on me.
What about during this pandemic? What is the greatest lesson that you learned?
One of the greatest lessons during this pandemic, among a lot, is to be generous. I learned how to be generous not only with my words, by checking up on people, but also with my time. I have spent my time putting up an organization called Your 200 Pesos. We were able to serve thousands of families, not only in Metro Manila, but in the nearby provinces. I learned that if more people are generous, then less people will become hungry, less people will struggle, and we will have a more united Philippines.
Quezon City, if you win, what do you plan to do more for your community?
I have been working a lot for sports. I have been part of different organizations of the government. But if I do win Miss Universe Philippines, I do know that the role is to represent the organization. I'm willing to learn more about the advocacy of Miss Universe Philippines, to work with them, to empower women, and to believe and stand by all the values that they also believe in.
What color do you think represents the phenomenal woman?
Green represents a phenomenal woman. Aside from it being the color of life, in my experience, it is the color of champions. I graduated from De La Salle University with 3 championships in my back, and I know that this is a color that inspires and empowers and shows off a strong and confident, phenomenal woman. I'm biased. Allow me to be.
Okay, so you've been hearing the word working from home nowadays.
Yes, Bob.
So what do you think are the skills needed nowadays in what you call the workplace of the future?
If there would be one thing that I learned through my mother, that would be always forgive people, because there's no such thing as a perfect person. And when my dad left us, she never speak ill about him. That's why in every situation, even though other people would hurt me, I still choose to see the goodness in them. You know what? Even though you're struggling, you can still become the symbol of hope. I myself, I had fears, uncertainty, but I still realized that I could still give back to Iloilo City. Out of my pocket, I decided to cook for the frontliners, and I know that's just a simple way, but that's my best way to help our modern heroes.
You win the crown. How will you help your community? Well, you mentioned that, but are there other things that you plan to do when you win the crown?
Being a Miss Universe, you become influential. So I want to go back to my advocacy, which is Feed Me and I Read You program, which we help those children living near the dump site. If you have seen my Beyond the Coastline video, I want to go back there, and we need a lot of materials, learning materials. And I feel like being a Miss Universe, I will be able to pull donors into our project to make it foster even better. Feed Me and I Read You program.
What color do you think symbolizes the phenomenal woman?
I feel that a phenomenal woman is red, because red is power and I am red.
Virtual gold is now a norm.
Throughout this journey, you have discovered that you are a phenomenal woman who is conditioned for greater. How can you create a positive and lasting impact to the world around you? Time starts now.
My greatest contribution that I can give is speaking about mental health. I've been through a lot in my life and a lot of struggles. I deal with depression, anxiety, and abuse. And what I want to say to anyone who's ever dealt with this is that don't be ashamed about it. Don't hide. Please share, because we need to hear these stories. We need to communicate together, have open communication in our households, and that's how I'm going to contribute as a phenomenal woman. I want to be authentic and truly myself. Thank you.
The most important app during this whole quarantine was my Bible. Having faith in the midst of this pandemic was very vital to me, not only for my mental health, but also for my sanity. It got me through the toughest of times. I was able to get through others through the toughest of times, and it kept me centered, and it kept me grounded. And that's the most important thing that I would need in a pandemic. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Ari, you ready for your second question?
Yes, bring it on.
All right, here it comes. This pandemic has made clear our priorities, essential and non-essential. Where do pageants stand in this time of crisis? Time starts now.
As we all know, pageants are a very, very inspiring event, not only to the Philippines, but to every country who supports pageantry. It is important to stage a pageant and to show the Philippines that we are much more than our setbacks, than our failures, and that we are able to overcome any adversity. Having a pageant symbolizes hope, and right now on this stage, that is who we are. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Quezon City, Michelle Gumabao. Now let's call on Iloilo. RABIYAMATEO. Goodies. A new paper currency with the image of any Filipino on it, dead or alive. Who would it be and why?
If I were given the chance, I want to use the face of Miriam Defensor Santiago. For those who don't know, she was an Ilongga, but what I admired about her is that she used her knowledge, her voice to serve the country. And I want to be somebody like her, somebody who puts her heart, her passion into action. And after all, she is the best president that we never had.
Okay, it's time for your second question. This pandemic has made clear our priorities, essential or non-essential. Where do pageants stand in this time of crisis?
As a candidate, I know I'm not just the face of Iloilo City, but I am here carrying hope and as a symbol of light in the darkest times. And as of the moment, I want to help my community. I want to use my strength to make an impact. And that is the essence of beauty pageant. It gives us the power to make a difference.